This is the Football Daily Podcast with Darren Fletcher.
Welcome to a very special episode of the Football Daily Podcast as we preview the Manchester derby. Joining us on the pod is Oasis star and Manchester City fan, Noel Gallagher. Noel, how are you, mate?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
I'm very good. Have you been busy since we last spoke?
Well, when was that?
Before the summer.
Yeah. It went rather well, didn't it?
It did. How's the holiday?
The holiday was good.
Yeah.
I'm back at work on Monday. Yeah, so it's all good, mate. It's all been going great.
Good. So it's a big day for City tomorrow with the derby, but it looks like a good day for City today. Marc Guehi, 20 million quid.
Unbelievable. I mean, to say in a couple of weeks, we've bought the two most desirable players that were potentially going to be on the market in the summer, in January, in Semenyo and Marc Guehi, is actually quite incredible. And the more I'm watching it, the more shocked I am they pulled this off. It's unbelievable. It goes to show that, for all Arsenal fans and Liverpool fans' nonsense about those two clubs being the most desirable destination for the great players in the world, everybody wants to go play for Pep, and it is really, when you think about it, the two players, everybody wanted those two players, and they've come to us in January, which is staggering, really.
It stunned me today when I saw 20 million quid, because Liverpool were in there at 35 million in the summer. Don said to me a little earlier tonight, he can't believe that Liverpool didn't go back in again at 20 million. It seems like daylight robbery when you think about the fee and the calibre of player that you're getting, even though his contract's up.
Well, yeah, I mean, the difference between City and Liverpool and Arsenal, which we'll find out now this season when Arsenal eventually win the league, is when City win the league, they go big again. They keep their foot on the accelerator. When Liverpool have won the league now, and they should have gone and got Guehi, because wasn't he photographed in the training gear in the summer? They were one day away from getting him, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But City just tend to go big all the time, and they rarely get it wrong in the transfer market. And hopefully these two will pay. Oh, well, Semenyo's already my favourite player. I'm that fickle, and Guehi is just what we need, because we've got a decimated back four at the minute. But yeah, all good.
Noel, how's it looking with Semenyo and Doku on the wings? Do you think watching City now with Foden and obviously Haaland and Reinders and Cherky, there's so much talent going forward, but with Semenyo signing, feels like a statement one? I know you've sort of fell in love with him already, but some player.
I tell you what I like about him is when he carries the ball brilliantly, but the ball never seems to be out of control from him. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you see other wingers, they kind of take bad touches and they knock it too far, and they're always like Semenyo, for instance, and even Doku to a certain extent. You never quite know whether he's got the ball under control. But with Semenyo, he looks like he's playing within himself, and he never looks flustered. Do you know what I mean? And the two goals that he scored already bode well. I always think when a player joins a club, their first game or their first couple of games will tell you a lot about how it's going to go for them. And he's done great. Really, really great.
Do you think there could be a bit of a Mahrez kind of output from him? Because when you had Mahrez, there was always 20 odd goals coming from that wide right position that helped the team immensely. The wingers you've had recently haven't been free scoring like that. But he looks like he can be that player, doesn't he? Yeah. Absolutely.
If we had a winger that was scoring between, 12 and 16 goals a season, we wouldn't have bought Semenyo. We wouldn't need him. So there was a need there to spread the goals around from Erling, and I think it'll be I still don't think it's going to tip the balance in the title race this season. I just think Arsenal are too good. But I think next season now, City will be frightening. Absolutely terrifying.
So derby this weekend. What's your earliest Manchester derby memory? Because you go back into the 70s.
My earliest memory was a night game. I think it was. I'm not sure. I think it might have been the game where Martin Buchan broke Colin Bell's leg. I think that might be my first memory. I know it was a night game. I think Brian Kidd was playing for us then. But Generally through the 90s, they were pretty forgettable for us. We were always getting battered. If we got a corner, we'd celebrate it. So when the tables were eventually turned, these days, you live for these days now. It's just a shame it's the early kickoff tomorrow because, you like it to be kind of later on during the day. But I'm looking forward to this one tomorrow. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, but just before Glenn comes in, November 1975, that game was Martin Buchan.
Well, that would make sense. My first game at City was 74, so that would make sense. Yeah.
No, while I've got you, I've got to thank you for my best night of 2025. There was somebody on this show, Noel, who promised me tickets, but he got extremely greedy, let's say. Let's not give him any more ammunition tonight, Noel.
Did he? Well, which one did you go to? Did you go to one?
I was at Wembley.
Right.
It was
they were.
amazing,
I mean, I would say which one, but they were all astonishing. Your mate there beside you went to nearly as many as I did. And
yeah, I know. I followed it on Instagram,
Use
mate.
it more.
Yeah. And it was just great. The whole thing was just we were completely blown away by how it went and the reaction and the vibe in the gigs and all that. It was a moment in time we'll all look back on in years to come and think, wow, how do we do that? But it was great, really great.
Yeah. So will we, mate. So will me. But taking it back to the football, Fletch asked for you first. What's your best Derby Day memory?
Well, when I went solo in 2011 or 2012, whenever it was, my first ever solo gig was in Dublin, and it was the first night of my tour. And that day, City played United at Old Trafford, and I think we were both unbeaten in the league up until that point, and it was the day that we beat them 6-1. And I remember watching it before I went to the sound check, and to see the goals go in and the Balotelli t-shirt and Why Always Me and all that, and Silva entry for the 6th, and it was just a great day. It was that was the day that the power shifted in Manchester, and it was a beautiful thing to witness, and but I think though in the case of United, I think as a City fan, obviously, we'd like to see them go out of business. And if I'd have known back in, a few years ago that you could buy a football club without spending any of your own money and saddle it with debt, I'd have bought Man United and turned it into a fantastic car park. But speaking as a neutral, the league needs Man United to be strong. Do you know what I mean? Because when there's only two teams going for the title and there's only two teams who can take points off each other, every game has an air of inevitability about it. So we need a strong United and strong Liverpool and strong Newcastle and strong Villa and Everton and all that to make the league more interesting. But United are in it's laughable chaos, How long may that continue?
Can you go to Old Trafford? Could you go to a derby at Old Trafford?
And it gets a bit dangerous for me because I'm quite recognisable. I've been a couple of times, and it can be very, very tricky, I've got to say. But for a morning kickoff, I wouldn't go. I've been to Old Trafford more for boxing matches than I have for football matches. I remember seeing Eubank Ben there. Eubank Ben, the rematch that there was a draw there. But no, it's not a part of town I go to.
No, just want to sort of go a bit further with that. What's your thought about what's going on now at Man United and what's going on over the road? Obviously you've got what's going on at Man City, which is brilliant. But what are you thinking? What's the thought of you now? Where do you think they are?
The difference between the two clubs is as simple and fundamental as this. Man City are run by football people, and Man United are run by business people. And Man City, thankfully, have an owner who doesn't run the club for profit, even though we make a staggering amount of money. And United, from what we see and read in the papers and all that, is run on penny pinching and trying to balance the books, and that doesn't work in the modern age. And I think City. Well, it's been completely turned on its head. Man City would always find a way to cock things up. And Man United was a slick operation, and all the best players wanted to go there, and the best manager, and all the fans had the best songs, and blah blah blah, and all that. And it's been completely turned upside down when the Abu Dhabi lot came to Manchester. And now it's United who cannot, for the life of them, get it right. And City do misstep from time to time, and there's a major rebuild going on. But if you look at even over the last 2 weeks, the 2 players we bought in 2 weeks, everybody in the footballing world will say, good Lord, they mean business. You know, City are a serious football club. Man United are a serious business operation. Therein lies the difference.
You said there that you think Arsenal are going to win it this season. Is there any thought in your mind that the demons might kick in March, April, when reality gets near and they can start to see the title and you're breathing down the neck because you've got Semenyo and got Guehi? Do you still think there's a chance that they could buckle under the pressure, especially if it's City close at that stage? Not
this year. We would have to be perfect now until we get them to the Etihad and beat them, and then the gap would be down to 3 points and anything could happen. But I've seen championship winning squads. I know what it feels like. I know what it smells like. I know what a championship squad looks like on the telly, right? When you watch it. We ain't won, not yet. And Arsenal are one. You know, they can play away at Bournemouth and they've got 5 or 6 who would be regular starters on the bench, and that's what we had in the treble season. You know, when City were going for the treble, any team was the strongest team. There was no B team. But saying that, we're getting there. You know, now all of a sudden with Semenyo and Guehi, you know, we played Newcastle the other night and won 2-0, and there was kids in this. You know, the back 4 were kids. Do you know what I mean? I think the average age was 21 or something. So we're getting there. Don't worry about that. We'll be back.
I'd say the one that's impressed me this season, O'Reilly. Left back, centre mid, number 10, just looks a footballer, doesn't he? Just looks like a player, wherever he is.
Well, this is a testament to Pep, because, you know, when they go on about managers and checkbook Pep and all this, I don't know how many times he's done it, but he's taken Núñez on one side, O'Reilly on the other, the 2 best fullbacks in the league. Neither of them are fullbacks. You know, he did it with Fabian Delph. He did it with Nathan Ake in the treble season. He played left back, not left back. Nico would want to count himself lucky he's playing for the greatest coach of all time, because he now looks like a 60, 70 million pound player, you know, and he's keeping a 60, 70 million pound left back out of the team in Nori. So he's been great, but this is all down to the manager. I mean, the manager he's some boy, I'll tell you.
Noel, talk to me about Kushinov. I've been super impressed with him so far this season.
He's amazing. I've seen his debut at Leyton Orient in the Cup, and he was amazing. Yeah, he's a bit raw. He's a bit overly physical. He looks like he's got a red card in him at all times. But he is rapid, and I think once he beds in at centre half, he's going to be staggering. He is so fast over the ground, and we love him. We love him.
It's almost like he needs to slow down a bit, doesn't he? Yeah. It's like he's so quick and he's so aggressive. Once he gets a bit of maturity and a bit of age behind him, he'll learn to read the game a little bit better.
Of course, you'll know yourself. I guess when you were his age, you were running around the pitch like an headless chicken trying to get on the ball. Yeah. And you know, he's all, when you see him running towards an opposition player at 100 mile an hour, you think he's going to get sent off. He's just going to go straight through him. But that'll come when he gets into his mid-20s, and Pep will sort him out, and he'll be. I mean, I think he's got actually potential to be beyond world class. He looks amazing.
Ultra confident. That, I think. Sorry, Fletch. That Max Elaine, I work with him at the under-20s with Nico. And they're both Rolls Royces, and you know, you'll be able to tell us there, Noel, what you think about him, Max, as well, Max Elaine, what you've seen of him.
Well, we played Newcastle the other night. He never stood out on the pitch. He never made a mistake. He didn't even notice he was playing. Do you know what I mean? And
that's him. Yeah.
You want your centre halves to just stroll through the game, no drama. And I didn't even realise he was playing for 10 minutes because I got in late. I didn't see the teams. And you're just like, crikey, you know what I mean? He's at St. James's Park in a semi-final. It's a full house. It's on TV. Looks like he's played there all his life. It's unbelievable. I do not know where City get these kids from. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was the same thing with O'Reilly in the Bernabeu in the Champions League earlier in the season. First time he'd been there, Real Madrid away, even though it's not a vintage Real Madrid team. He looked like he'd had 25 games in Madrid, just kind of took to it like a duck to water. Just on tomorrow, are you kind of ultra confident about tomorrow, or is there the fear in the back of your mind that United might turn up for this one?
Oh, they'll turn up. Don't you worry about that. Yeah. They only turn up for 2 games a season. It's us and Liverpool. and they'll turn up tomorrow. So if I'd be worried if United go in front. I think in all these derbies, it's generally speaking first goal wins. The big man up front's been quiet for a while, so I think he might spark back into life tomorrow. And I mean, I'm quietly confident, but derbies, I hate them. I hate derby day. I hate the aftermath.
He could have a match ball tomorrow, couldn't he, Erling? Could see a match ball in him tomorrow.
Yeah. He's not playing bad. You know what I mean? He's just not. He has these dips in the middle of the season. In his big seasons, he'll start off and you think, God, he's going to get 60 goals, and then he kind of levels out a bit, and then he has a strong finish. So he's gone through a little flat period, but hopefully he'll burst into life tomorrow.
I was surprised. No, were you surprised that Pep played him in the cup the other day when the team sheets come in? I was away, and I seen the team sheet come in for City, and I seen Haaland up front in the cup, and I was like, "Cool, that's a bit of a risk."
Well, we haven't got anyone else. Marmoush is away with Egypt, so I mean he's back now. So, I was talking to my youngest lad about this the other night. He's a City fan, and we had Alvarez in the treble-winning season, so you could give Erling a rest, and Alvarez would come on. He's an 80 million pound footballer, World Cup winner, So we would need Marmoush to kind of get back up to speed quickly. So Erling doesn't really have to, but we're coming to the business end of things now, so he's going to be playing every game. But was I surprised? No, because we want that trophy. Pep wants that trophy, because if we get the Carabao Cup, then I think it bodes really, really well for the rest of the season.
Let me ask you one more before we get you out, just taking you back to the summer. Two-part question. How blown away were you by Gallagher Hill in Manchester? And how special was it for you to do the tour with the kids so they could experience it the way that you experienced it? That must have been special.
Yeah, well, the Gallagher Hill. I mean, look, Oasis fans are the best in the world. They're the most loyal, and the fact that there was, an arena-sized crowd outside the venue every night was just amazing. Do you know what I mean? And hats off to them. And we gave away some few T-shirts, and we put a video screen up there towards the end of the run. But they were amazing. And my kids, who showed virtually no interest in my job up until the night in Cardiff, went from never seeing Oasis once to seeing Oasis 38 times in 6 months, which has got to be some kind of record. And they loved it, and hanging out with their cousins and the big sister and all my mates. And they were, I mean, you were there, you've seen them there. They're great lads, and they were buzzing off all the City players that were coming, and Pep was there, and Foden and John Stones and Rodri, and they were buzzing, just kind of like seeing it all. And I didn't think they thought I was that cool. Do you know what I mean? Until halfway through, they were like, God, he knows John McEnroe as well. What's going on here? So it's kind of, I'm well worthy of Dad of the Year mug, that I got for Christmas. So yeah, no, they're great. They're great.
Brilliant. I'll just tell you, boys, before he goes. So he bumped into John McEnroe in New York and said that John McEnroe might be the coolest man that he ever met. And then about a week later, he bumped into Al Pacino, who turned out to be the coolest man he'd met. And it was a tight one, wasn't it, Noel, between Al Pacino and McEnroe in a cool-off between the two of them.
Mate, I mean, like, John McEnroe is, without question, one of the coolest sportsmen you'll ever meet in your life. But I have to say, I had dinner with Al Pacino, and it literally does not get any better than talking about Scarface with Scarface himself. And it turns out he's a big Oasis fan. Unbelievable.
Listen, so is everybody now, mate. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate your time. Enjoy the derby tomorrow. That's all for this special edition of the Football Daily podcast with Noel Gallagher. Next up, Rio Ferdinand joins me on the pod to talk about the state of Manchester United. That will be available to download on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock.